Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brandon with Taylor's Fine Smoke Cooking. Welcome back in. Today we're going to be making some beef cheeks. Now I'm going to be making these in my pressure cooker, and we're going to take the meat and use these for a lot of different variations. I'm probably going to use it over the top of the rice with some of the gravy from the beef cheeks. We're also going to be making tacos or whatever the case may be, but this is going to be quick, simple, and easy. A little bit of a process cleaning the cheeks, but other than that, it's going to turn out good. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. Let's go ahead. All right, guys, so here are our cheeks. Now you can see there is a lot of fat on these beef cheeks. They are what they say they are. They are the jaw muscle of a cow. So they are could be considered a working muscle. They are kind of tough, so it does take a little bit of a long cook on them. They're good smoked, but we're going to do the pressure cooker today, and we're just going to use it to make a lot of different things with the meat itself. So what we want to do, we just want to go ahead and trim some of the fat. Now, if you were making like birria tacos or birria, however you pronounce it, you would want to keep a little bit more of that fat on there because you would use that fat to fry your tacos in. But I'm not doing birria today. We're just doing cheeks. So I'm going to remove a lot of the fat from this. There will still be some on there just based on how tough it is to get it all removed from your beef cheeks. But we're just going to do the best we can, getting some of that sinew and some of that silver skin off of it. There's quite a bit depending on the cheeks. You know, you just kind of never know what you're going to get, similar to a brisket or anything else. So just trim the most of the fat off as you can, making sure that you get a lot of that silver skin and things like that, and we'll go from there. Now, with the recipe we're using or doing today, you don't necessarily have to do beef cheeks. I just happen to have some in my freezer that I wanted to get thawed out and get them cooked. So this was the recipe of the meat that we're using for this particular recipe. But you could use, you know, chuck roast. You could use pretty much any type of tough cut of meat, because we are going to be, again, braising it in our Instapot to get it broken down and tender. And as you see, we just a nice little trim here. It does have some nice marbling in it. Again, the rest of this stuff it's going to be fine. Once it cooks down, you won't notice it's there. But that's basically what you want to do. You want to continue to cook these beef cheeks, get as much of that fat out of them as you can, just as you can. Again, if we were doing birria tacos, we would probably keep a little bit more fat in there. That way we could be able to use it to fry our shells. But other than that, we're just going to keep on trimming and getting them clean, and then when we're done, we will bring you guys right back in. All right, guys, so here are our cheeks all cleaned up. We got as much of the fat off as we possibly could. We have some little scraps and stuff in there as well, but we're going to be putting in the pressure cooker, so that's not a big deal. If I was smoking it, I would probably try to keep more of that whole. And you can see a lot of the waste that we have here. Now, if I wanted to, we could render this down for beef tallow or whatever the case may be, or we could use it, freeze it, and use it as grind to help if we were to make sausage or ground up some pork or more beef, whatever the case. But we're just going to discard that and use the good meat that we have left. So we're going for more of a Mexican-inspired flavor today. So I have some chipotle sauce here. We're going to use a little bit of the Better Than Bouillon garlic flavor. I also have some enchilada sauce, minced garlic, and we have some white onion. This is going to come together really quickly. It's kind of a dump and go. We also have some oregano and some taco seasoning to season our meat. So I have my pressure cooker heating up right here, and all we're going to do is, again, just kind of dump everything in. We're going to start off with the white onions to start getting a little bit of a saute on them, and then from there we're going to go in with everything else. We're going to add in our minced garlic. We're going to add a tablespoon of our Better Than Bouillon garlic seasoning. That has a delicious, amazing flavor, so I highly recommend that. If you don't have the garlic flavor, you can use chicken also. We're going to go in with our oregano to try to get it sweating, and just to try to waken it up a little bit with dry herbs. Sometimes it's good to do that to try to awaken them a little bit and get them flavors really popping. This is just some enchilada sauce. You can use whatever brand that you like. This is just the one I have. I got this from Save-A-Lot. Then we have some chipotle sauce. This is going to add a nice little flavor, just a little mellow heat on the back end, and it's really, really good. So when this meat braises in this particular liquid, when the juices from the meat and this sauce comes together, it's really going to make for a delicious combination. And again, we're going in with our Better Than Bouillon garlic and our minced garlic. Now you can go as heavy or as light with your garlic as you like. I went with about 1.5 tablespoons of minced garlic, and again about 1 tablespoon of our Better Than Bouillon. We're going to let this cook in our pressure cooker for about 35 to 40 minutes. You just want to basically cook it until you're able to shred your beef and it comes apart like just fork tender. So that's all we're going to be doing with it. So you just let this go for a little bit, just a few minutes if that. Then we're going to add in a little bit of water, about 1/4 cup of water. Then we're going to add in our taco seasoning as well. Now this is some good taco seasoning that I got from Costco. It's not extremely salty, so that's why I like it. And it does have a lot of other little herbs and seasonings in there. You can see it's not like your traditional packet taco seasoning. It has chili flakes and some dry garlic and onion and stuff in there. So I really like the flavor it provides. And this is what's going to season our meat. You notice we didn't put any salt or anything on our beef. So we're going to allow the sauce to season our meat as it braises, going with a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper as well. Heavy or as light as you like on that. That is definitely your determination for your palate. It's coming together. It smells amazing already. Now we're going to go in and put our cheeks in here. Again, you don't have to use beef cheeks. One, if you can't find them in your area, and two, they're not necessarily cheap. I happen to get these on sale. That's why I have them. But you could use, again, short rib. You could use chuck roast. You could use flat meat. You could use pretty much whatever kind of tougher cut you want to, for real. Because we're going to be pressure cooking it and braising it off. So it'll cook down the same. But these beef cheeks do have a nice little flavor to them, and they nice and tender once it's done. So all right, so once we have the beef cheeks in and fully submerged, we're just going to go ahead and cover this bad boy up. I'm going to cook it for about 20 minutes initially, check on it, and then we'll go again for another 15 to 20 to see how we're doing. All right, guys, so it's been 20 minutes, well, a little over 20 minutes. You have to let the pressure come down out the pressure cooker as well, and it takes a little bit for it to get up, but it's been about 20 minutes of cook time, and the meat is starting to come along really nicely. It's starting to pick up really nice color and absorb a lot of the flavors from the sauce we made, but it's still not tender enough, which we figured it would be. So we're gonna just cover it back up and let it go for about another 15 to 20 minutes until it becomes fork tender or pull apart tender. All right, guys, so we just let it go another 20. And just look at that. Now you can see there's just very minimal grease or anything in here because we trimmed off mostly all the fat. So a little bit of the grease that you see was just from the fat that may have been residual within the meat itself. So that's perfectly fine. We're not going to do anything with that, just let it go. But you can see how the meat is starting to break apart really simply with my tongs. As I pick it up and just squeeze a little bit, then it just breaks apart perfectly fine. So that's the way we want it. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove all of this meat, and I'm going to shred it with a fork or however you shred your meat. And we're going to put it in a separate vessel. We're going to leave the sauce or the gravy for other things as well. I'm going to use it as gravy, as right over some rice. I decided to make rice, but that's essentially what we're going to do. So you can see here's the finished product. Here's how the meat looks, nice and hot, nice and juicy and tender. When I tell you this meat is fire. So this, I'm going to put some of the over some rice. So I'm also going to make some tacos with this. And then I'm going to save the rest and then probably make some rolled tacos at a later date. And here's my rice. I just got some gravy going on right now, covering that rice. I could eat this alone just like it is because this gravy is banging. When I tell you it's full of flavor, it is so good. But this is essentially all I'm doing, nice and simple. We're going to put a little bit of this shredded beef cheek on top. And I'm also going to put a little bit of giardiniera on there just because I like the crunch of the vegetables along with the heat, because I have spicy giardiniera. And it's just going to be that simple for us today, guys. It's good, hearty, delicious. And then we're going to do some other things with that beef cheek as well. So hope you guys did enjoy the recipe. It's something a little different. Some of you may not always cook or you've cooked before. But if you could follow the same recipe and same steps, maybe with your chuck roast next time, and I truly believe that you guys will enjoy it. But this is dinner for us tonight, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Till the next time.